Welcome back, Home Wizards here. Cindy Dole, where we talk about the ways to enjoy your home. And, of course, that means keeping you safe at home. And it's one of the things that you probably don't want to think about. I don't want to think about it, and especially during the holidays. I mean, it's not very pleasant to think about the idea that someone could take it all away from you. I was on the phone with a friend today, and he goes, "Oh, my gosh, you're going to have Chris McGoey on, and I didn't lock my front door." You know, there's too many of us who are too trusting, right? And so to avoid becoming a victim, I thought we'd have the crime doctor with us to kind of shake us up into reality check time and to think more like a burglar because, well, the holidays is when the police are saying that more of these burglaries happen. So, Chris McGoey, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Sydney.
Hi.
Glad to be here.
I'm guilty of it, too, of sometimes walking out the front door and not locking the front door. I mean, what's up with that? We know, I mean, we're... We know it's a crime capital, but we do this. We're just so trusting and we forget.
Well, you think because you're honest, everybody else is going to be honest. But in truth, a burglary occurs every 15 seconds. So your odds are good that someone's going to see your habit, see you run out the door to go jogging or something and make a quick entry.
And so these people are watching us. I mean, they're kind of staking out their target. Welcome back, Cindy Dole here, and my name hasn't been changed, but neither has Chris McGoey's. He's the crime doctor. We're all about helping you to enjoy your home, and that means keeping yourself safe. So, Chris, thanks for coming in today. And how do you become a crime doctor anyway?
Just working in the business for 40 years, running your own company for over 25.
You've seen it all, haven't you?
I've surveyed over 6,000 commercial properties. Yeah, pretty much seen it all.
And you don't seem like you're the least bit nervous or anxious about anything like that.
I'm scared to death. What
you
are you talking about? Yeah.
You're scared to death. Wait a minute. That doesn't make me feel good. You are scared to death?
No. My paranoia level, though, is much higher than the normal person.
Really?
Because I'm always I'm aware of what people are capable of.
Uh-huh. So you probably can see it coming when you look in someone's eyes, right? Or you can smell it.
I don't let them get close enough so I can see in their eyes or smell it. I see them coming a mile away.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the makings of a burglar? I mean, how does a burglar think? How do we get into their mind and then use that knowledge to make our home less apt to be a target?
Sure. The bottom line is they want to steal stuff. They want your stuff. They're lazy. For the most part. They may not be clear thinking. They're either going to be stoned on drugs or alcohol, but they're looking for money. They're looking for jewelry, guns, anything they can grab and sell on the street quickly for money, either to buy drugs immediately or to help them pay rent, some immediate need. So there's a certain amount of desperation. But they're looking for the easy target and the opportunity. Therein is the secret to not being a victim. You don't want to be the easiest looking home on the block, the obviously unoccupied home, the home with the window standing open, with the garage door up, with the front door unlocked, with the key hidden in the flower pot at the door or under the mat. You don't want to be that home that's just wide open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the more obstacles that we create, whether that is an alarm system or at least the sign that suggests that we have ADT, but we may not, or, that's going to give one more reason for them to doubt that we're the ideal spot, right?
Absolutely. You want to have redundant, a series of psychological and physical barriers.
Like Get Smart, like the door just keeps coming and coming.
Yes. And that starts from the street. If they're driving by or walking by, you don't want to have that open window visible from the street. You don't want to have the garage door up from the street. You want to have that alarm sign in the lawn, letting them know that an alarm might go off. A beware a dog sign on the fence. I have one. I don't know. I do not have a dog.
Just the sign.
Just the sign, because they might jump over that fence and get bit, and they don't want that. I have lights around the back of the property that come on automatically should someone enter my yard. I have really heavy-duty doors. I have grade 1 heavy-duty deadbolts.
And that's kind of scary how these guys can literally, like a ramming gear, they just kind of kick open that door no matter what, right? I mean, a lock is not enough.
That's the most common way. You kick the door right open. But my door is fortified. You could kick it all day and your foot will fall off before my front door is going to come open. With just maybe an hour worth of work, you could substantially fortify that door by fortifying the door jamb with a heavy-duty strike plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I sent you some pictures. I don't know if they're going to end up on your website.
Yes, they
or
are. Uh-huh.
But I use the heavy-duty 6-screw strike plate, and I got long 3-inch screws that go all the way into the door frame, where most homes simply have a 2-screw strike plate. So it makes a world of difference.
And that you have that on both the front and the back door, right?
Front door,
every door.
side door,
yeah,
every door. You have to treat every door like the front door.
And windows, too.
Windows,
right?
yeah. My windows have backup systems where if they want to pry that open, there's also like a dowel in the window that will only allow it to open about 6 inches.
Wow.
But by then, the alarm system's going to be going off. That's the other thing. People that have alarm systems tend to not use them, except maybe every 6 months when they go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they forget the passcode because they don't use it every day. So you got to use that stuff. You have to act like you're secure every day. You know, another vulnerability is when you have people come into your house. You have your carpets clean,
mm-hmm.
and the worker that the cleaner brings might have just picked them up at Home Depot that morning. Or you have your house painted, or you have furniture delivered. They could check out what you got and, you know, maybe put you on the list that they'll come back and visit you later.
What do you think about these keyless locks where you can change your code, your access code daily if you want? It's like a little computer-generated thing.
It's a gimmick.
You don't like that? Yeah.
No, low tech is best. There's nothing wrong with keys as long as you protect them or you change them every once in a while. The bump key thing that you hear about in the media is, it's really a lot of hype for the most part. Yeah, it's possible for someone to do that. It's possible for someone to pick your lock, but it never happens. I mean, it's rare.
They're not going to take that time. They're going to either kick the door open or break in through a window, that kind of a thing?
If they had that kind of skill and ability, they could actually get a real job and work for a living. These are stupid people, that are doing this for a living. So they're looking for opportunities and the easy way. So just make it a little bit hard, and they'll go rob your neighbor instead of you.
Yeah. Well, if they're so stupid, then how come they seem to know where we've hidden our stuff? You know, I mean, maybe we need to be smart about where we hide our stuff. But, I mean, let's say if we had some jewelry or we had some cash or coins or whatever. I mean, where should we hide those things? In the freezer?
Well,
in a jar?
We're stupid, too.
We're stupid?
And we kind of meet, our minds kind of meet. I can go into almost anybody's home, into the master bedroom, in the dresser. And it's going to be like in the second drawer down under the underwear or the socks.
There it is?
There it is. The jewelry box, or it's always in the same places, or it's in the master bedroom closet. Just a couple of places you could usually get right to the good stuff. Same way with guns. Most people put it somewhere near their bed, in the dresser drawer or under the mattress. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in and they can quickly scour your most logical places and come up with the big scores.
Mm-hmm. Well, so if we wanted to outsmart one of these guys with hiding our stuff, would you say that it's smart to come up with some kind of a secret panel? Like when I grew up, my dad had this mirror and it opened up and there was a little shelf, and that's where he hid some of his collectibles. And I don't know, I thought it was kind of obvious. It almost stood out that, hey, come and get me. But I mean, are those kind of techniques worthwhile?
Well, those are gimmicks too, because now you know where it is. Then you have your friends over and you go, hey, guess what? My dad's got this secret panel. And you go show it to him, right? You did it, didn't you?
I did.
You did. So now your kids know it, and then,
it's
eventually.
It's a party.
Yeah. So,
but I do like the idea of hiding things like in with the peas in the freezer. You know, putting, no? You don't like that?
No. Peas are good.
Yeah.
Laundry rooms are good. And with the laundry detergent
garage?
is good.
In the garage?
Yeah,
no.
Garage isn't too bad. But I like for people to have backups of things. Don't have things that you can't afford to lose. Don't have one-of-a-kind items unless you copy it, insure it, back it up somehow, or have the ability to replace it. Most people that get burglarized, they don't know what they've lost. Mm-hmm. They don't have the serial numbers from anything, let alone the receipts. They can't report to the police what's missing, nor the insurance company. So a lot of people don't do well after a burglary because they have no inventory. So you get your little digital camera, you go around your house, you photograph everything, and you write down some serial numbers, and you could put them on a computer system, but you got to back up things, and you got to have a list in different locations, just in case you do have a major burglary or some other natural disaster. You could report what's missing, or maybe have a chance of recovering it through the police or through the insurance.
What about computers? I mean, laptops, our desktops. I mean, I always back them up. But are they now one of the prized items among burglars? They want to quickly grab that and go? Because I think it isn't just the value of that going, but it's all your stuff. It's your photos. It's your documents that's, in the brains of the computer. Wow, to lose that.
Yeah, they're really looking for what they could sell on the street and what's small and compact. They're more likely to steal your game machine, your Xbox, your I don't even know what they are, your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Than they are maybe your laptop, your cell phone, your iPhone. Those kind of things are more likely to steal. But they really want cash, number one, first and foremost. Drugs, prescription drugs if you have them. Guns they could sell instantly.
But you hear these stories of people who, they just were such unlucky victims where, wouldn't you know it, that prowler managed to find all of the goody stuff. I mean, that were really valuable collectibles, hand-me-downs, things that have been passed down for years in the family, whether it's artwork or, clocks or whatever it is. I mean, that just breaks your heart. So there are some rings of these guys that really know where the good stuff is.
There are some that are not in prison. They're not in prison for a reason. They're smarter than the average burglar, and they do put some thought into it. They do know the value of items. They're almost like professional appraisers. They'll get the good stuff, they'll leave the junk, and they have fences lined up. The moment they commit the burglary, they are presenting it to a fence who'll give them so many cents on the dollar, and it's a business for them.
So right now, what percentage of burglars end up in jail or prison, you think?
Not very many. The police only arrest about 13%.
Wow.
So the odds...
They're just too busy, right?
Or there's not enough clues. I mean, burglars more and more are wearing gloves or some gear, but for a common burglary, it's not like TV where they're going to send CSI out to your house and fingerprint the whole house to catch a burglar. They'll come and take a report, and they'll ask you, well, what's missing? And you don't really know, because you don't have the serial numbers. You don't know the model of that laptop or the TV. The coins that were taken, there's no way of tracing that other than to give an identification of it. Cash, there's no way of tracing. So that's what the problem is with the police. So they write the report, they file it, and frankly, there's really not much investigation.
I was burglarized in an apartment early on in my career, and I had nothing valuable there, but it was still that feeling of that they've gotten to you, and you get so mad. It's like, how dare they get to me? I'm sure that's the common feeling, not to mention the heartache of depending on how many valuable things were taken and the financial ramifications. But that's, I guess, the moment when people go, okay, I'm going to get an alarm system now, right? That's when they do it. They're finally nudged into it.
You do two things. You get an alarm system, or you buy a dog. Yeah.
And should we get a Yipper or Doberman? Because I hear two different schools of thought, that sometimes the dog that's yip, 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 but that is going to be more of an annoyance than like the real fierce Doberman or, pit bull or whatever.
Well, my philosophy is don't have anything that eats. But the big dog, obviously, is the one that they fear, the German Shepherds, the Dobies, and the Rottweilers. The Yippy dogs are more of an annoyance, but burglars will shy away, though, from almost any dog that makes noise. Okay. So they all work. It's a sign. You can have a little Yippy dog and then have a big bowl, dog bowl, a foot around at the front door, and put killer on it.
Love it.
And that'll keep them away.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about, let's say if you were inside, although most burglaries happen when you aren't home, you might be at work, but every now and then it happens when you are home. What can you do to survive that and to be smart, right? You're listening to Home Wizards. We're talking with the crime doctor. Maybe you have a question, you can call in at 888-KFWB 980, 888-539-2980. Cindy Dole. We're back after this.